Craig Roggow, and I'd like to thank you for joining me on this presentation today, where I'm going to be discussing best practice companies in risk management. And as we explore, the capacity of a company to manage different risks plays a massive role in determining its overall performance. And the use of effective risk management practices provide an excellent operational platform for a company. Now, before I get into the actual case study and define the two companies that I'm actually contrasting, I'd like to just go over a couple housekeeping items. First of all, this video is meant to really hit the high points of this overall case study. And I invite you, if you take a look here at the next slide, you'll see that I have a number of different multimedia formats. One being that you can actually go back to the web publishing where the entire study is actually posted or published, and you'd be able to take a look at the written as well as the PowerPoint presentation and the actual video again that you're watching now. Now, the PowerPoint presentation can be downloaded separately, or as you'll note, I use it as talking points throughout this video. So again, the video is not so much to go in depth, but it is to really create a overall feel and sensitivity to the importance of risk management today in corporate society. So with that, let's get started, and we'll just move right along into the introduction. If we take a look at risk management specifically and try to identify where it fits into the corporate world, or for that matter, the private sector, we see that risk management acts as a fundamental element in any company. There's unknowns which make it impossible to predict. However, risk management can narrow down the uncertainties or give you a better chance of being able to get through those uncertainties. The two companies that I am going to be taking a look at here in this case study is AIG. I'm sure many of you have heard of that company. And another company, maybe not quite as familiar if you're not in this sector of insurance, but nevertheless, Aon is an excellent model as well to take a look at. So we'll be looking at both of those. And really my thesis here is that AIG and Aon are excellent model companies in risk management. Now, I've kind of done two things. One is I've used two companies which themselves are very good in risk management. They've survived a long time. They've been very productive and profitable. And yet many companies use these companies to manage their risk and give themselves a better chance of being able to combat unknowns. So in this study, I will identify the similarities and the differences of both of these two firms and examine how the fundamental aspects of risk management actually affect these companies as well as other companies in general. They've been exceptional, as I've pointed out, in the global insurance sector. So I think they're going to be two companies that are going to be good for us to delve further into. So if we take a look now with regards to the specific objectives of this project, I guess by reviewing and watching this video and going back to the website, you will be able to analyze and explain what these best practice companies do in risk management specifically, define the similarities between AIG and Aon, and be able to describe major differences between the two companies and critique them. And then lastly, be able to implement, as the CEO or manager of your own organization, risk management practices as well. So from that, we'll get into the specifics here on this next slide of best practice company American International Group, which is AIG. And in fact, I'll just refer to American International Group from here forward as AIG. The reason I chose this specific company is because it offers extensive services in risk management itself, as I pointed out just a bit earlier. AIG has a foothold in over 120 countries in the world, so they are very, very large. And the clientele for AIG is highly diverse, which also gives them a way to manage their own risk. And also it provides a competitive premium structure for different risk management products, which then gives companies that are purchasing their services an advantage in also trying to get the lowest cost in still managing their risk. So moreover, marketing is an essential component of AIG's strategy blueprint, which Cummings does point out. And the company uses exclusive marketing agents in some countries and independent marketing reps in other nations. This enables the company to tap effectively into different markets for risk management services and products. In view of such strategic blueprint, the profitability of AIG is very, very high. As we'll get into a bit later, they've been around for quite some time, and it's because of this structure that's enabled them to maintain profitability and viability in pretty turbulent times. Let's take a look specifically, though, at the relevance of AIG. It is an outstanding company in risk management, and AIG's operational framework is an excellent model that exemplifies how companies can minimize their risk. So again, highlighting the fact that not only are they in the risk management sector, being insurance, they also manage that risk very well themselves. AIG has been highly efficient in offering competitive premiums, as I just pointed out a bit earlier, and AIG uses excellent strategies while seeking reinsurance services. So that's definitely why AIG was chosen here as one of the companies for me to case in this case study. Let's take a look now at Aon PLC, which we will determine is not an American company, but it is a British company, and it is in itself a large number of companies. But specifically here, Aon offers both reinsurance and insurance services. We're going to see how some of their services differ from its competitor, being AIG, but the principal insurers are some of the world's largest organizations and brands, and products include terrorism, political, environmental, database risk management, just to name a few, and then their scope covered by Aon ranges from aviation sector to higher education. So they're not modest in what sectors they're willing to insure, but obviously the way that they insure those sectors is both an advantage for their customer and enables them to manage their own risk as well. Taking a look now at the relevance of Aon specifically to this study, we find that Aon, while it hasn't been around as long as AIG, they have been consistently profitable. The company's practices can help in determining suitable types of insurance for different risks. So if you are the manager or CEO of an organization, you're able to find something in their portfolio that will probably fit your needs in decreasing your risk and exposure in certain situations that you deem important. Now, Aon practices provide an excellent framework for understanding the effectiveness of different agency systems. So that'll be a bit more clear here as we go into some of the similarities and differences between the two companies. So this next slide here will highlight those similarities between AIG and Aon. Let's specifically get into that now, where we identify that both AIG and Aon have global footholds, which we've identified. AIG in about 120 countries and Aon in about 100. They offer multiple insurance solutions for numerous industries. We've pointed that out. They both use independent and exclusive agency systems for marketing their products. And they offer specialty underwriting solutions, which really do tailor to the specific needs of not only the sectors that they're involved with, but the actual organizations themselves. So they'll actually insure very large entities and also quite small entities, and they have best fit solutions involved in finding that best fit. In essence, the range of risk management service offered by the companies is highly diverse, but these companies are also similar in that they use both the independent and exclusive agency systems for marketing, as we pointed out. But this attribute has been highly influential in the sectors of both these companies. Both companies have been associated with some of the biggest sports brands. For instance, these companies have had partnerships with Manchester United, just to give an example. So let's now go specifically into the differences of these two companies, and they are competitors, no doubt about that. But let's take a look at how they've each carved out their niche and how they've both been able to be profitable. If we look at Aon specifically, it offers extensive brokerage services, but AIG does not. AIG does not offer reinsurance solutions like Aon does. Aon, that's really been its trademark, and they've been very effective in that. And for those that are maybe not familiar specifically what reinsurance is, it's simply a way for other insurance companies to, let's say, reduce their risk, or larger companies. And in fact, it's basically an insurance policy on the insurance policy, if you will. Compared to AIG, Aon is a relatively new company in the global insurance sector. And in further contrast, just going a little bit deeper here, we find that AIG is really a mainstream insurance company, while AIG has a much broader platform. Aon has three main subdivisions, and when you go back to my website, you'll be able to go into greater detail. But the three subdivisions focus on outsourcing, reinsurance, and risk management, respectively, whereas AIG is a bit more traditional in its broad insurance portfolio. All right, so let's now take a look at really the differences just in a table summary here. On this next slide, you'll see that Aon, which we've already identified, I don't know if I actually told you yet, but it was it started in 1982, which it definitely is not a new kid on the block. But when you look at insurance in general, AIG actually was formed in 1912. So in relation to its competitor, it is pretty new. But if you see, Aon has an extensive brokerage service. AIG does not. Aon offers reinsurance solutions, and there really aren't reinsurance products through AIG. And relatively new in the insurance sector, as we pointed out, and whereas AIG is well established in the global sector. Now, being this well established, you can imagine their tentacles are very deep, and they've been basically a support and a structure for a lot of sectors to maintain that reduction in risk through the insurance. And so they've got quite a reputation that's been very solid over the years. But Aon has well come into this industry and done very well in that regard too. Moving on now to the critique here, we identify that the premium rates offered by both companies are considerably flexible, and that's a good thing. The best practice companies have also been effective in the choice of agency systems for marketing. The diversity of risk management solutions at Aon has greatly cushioned the company from potential losses. Now, the one component that in critiquing these two companies, it really does seem that with such an extensive foothold, it would make sense or be essential for AIG to offer reinsurance services in the future as well. Hard to imagine they haven't gotten more into that particular portfolio, but definitely it's something that I would imagine they would be considering as they move forward with their marketing strategy and portfolation. If we now take a look at implementing best practices, implementation requires a thorough evaluation of different risks. So as a CEO, that really is your job, is to be able to identify what potential risks are there and to be able to come up with solutions to minimize those risks. And some of the insurance solutions that these two companies offer may very well fit that bill. The premium rates for different risks might vary. In some cases, you may choose to self-insure. Other cases, it may be too expensive to do that. In some cases, the insurance can actually cost you more than the actual downside of the risk itself, so that evaluation has to be made. It is essential to be covered by a firm that offers great diversity in terms of risk management solutions. And again, these two companies that we've highlighted definitely fit that bill. The risk management framework must be highly flexible, and if it's not, more than likely the risk or the portfolio that you're trying to choose from may not quite fit your institution needs. So it is important that you're working with a company or underwritten by a company that has that ability. So in conclusion, we find that the thesis is really solid here in that AIG and Aon are excellent model companies in risk management. The later is a British firm, while the former is an American entity, which we've pointed out, and these companies are characterized by excellent standards within risk management. Now, AIG's operational framework is an excellent model that exemplifies how companies can minimize risk. And we find also that the solution for Aon covers multiple industries, including highly risky industries such as the aviation sector. And then in order to succeed in the insurance sector, a company should use the necessary platforms in determining the rates of premiums for different products. So again, risk management, a huge and important area in corporations today. You don't want something to come in and cause you such a loss that your business is jeopardized. And so risk management is very, very important. With that, the next slide here brings you back again to my blog publishing, where you can again view this presentation again and go into greater detail, taking a look at the video and the PowerPoint. You'll also notice my academic resources that I've used for this research and this case study, and you'd be able to go into greater detail there as you see on my reference slide. And again, I want to thank you all for joining me on this presentation. Hopefully it was insightful and you learned something, and it was produced, narrated, and edited by myself, so I look forward to speaking with you again in the future. But again, thank you for joining me today. Bye for now.